Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel for what is going to be the last review of the year. And before I start, I want to introduce you to Epsilon, which is the randomest Christmas present I've ever received from my students. So he's there now. But anyway, I didn't come to talk about Epsilon. Today I am going to be talking about Successor's Promise, which is book 3 in the Millennium's Rule series by Australian author Trudi Canavan out of a series of 4. So it's the penultimate book in the series, originally published in 2017. And I finished this book quite a few weeks ago, and I've been holding back from the review because I've been trying to organize my thoughts and I'm not entirely sure or clear what I think about it. So I made some notes and I've got there's some good points and there are some not so good points, and I'm just gonna explain what I felt when reading the book, what I think about it, and then you can decide whether it's for you or not, or whether I got it wrong. Please, as usual, comment in the section below. So the action takes place some time after the events of book 2, and just like in the previous 2 entries, we follow 2 POV characters, Tien and Riel. So at the end of the last book, the Ryan, this angel, lord of the multiverse different worlds, which in some worlds is seen as a sort of virtuous saving character, and in some other worlds is seen as this sort of evil tyrant, has kind of been defeated, but his mind, his memories, his bodies have been mind has been preserved to be transferred into the body of a young boy that gets rescued by Riel, and then the action picks up from there, trying to revive the Ryan, this angel of the worlds, right? So, I don't want to spoil the plot, what happens here, but there was some good, so the things that I enjoyed about the book is the romance between Tien and Riel, and would they not happens, does not. It's pretty well crafted and executed, and I keep on banging on about this. I'm not the best read person in the world, but I think that in general female authors tend to have a greater sensitivity for these sort of things, and is one of the better romances that I've seen. You can see it coming from a mile away, obviously, because we follow these 2 characters, but it makes sense at the pace it's developed, and the ups and downs of the relationship within the context of the story is all very well threaded. So I enjoyed that. The other thing I enjoyed is that it keeps you second guessing as to the actions of particularly the Tien character, his motivations. When you're on his point of view, things make sense, but when you see what he does from Riel's point of view, his actions, I'm thinking, is he gonna do a Breaking Bad sort of thing? It keeps you guessing, and I almost wish that all this time he's been seen as one of the good guys and ends up not being one of the good guys, because it would be a twist that would make sense within the concept of the story. It wouldn't be like a subversion of expectations. This was a conversation that I was having with Tom Greenwood in the last podcast episode, so check out my conversation with him, where we talked about the differences between a plot twist and a subversion of expectations. And this would be a plot twist because it would be in keeping with the characters. So I enjoy that. The not so good aspects of the book, my main concern, and I may be nitpicking here, and it may not be a big issue for some people, is the world building. Like I explained, or like I talked about in the last in the review of the 2 previous books, is that the action here takes place across multiple worlds. So our characters can travel to different worlds and they can go world hopping. So, by its very nature, the world building in a setting like this is an impossible task, right? You're not going to be able to characterize every different planet, because sometimes, or every different world, because sometimes our characters are just going to be passing by there. But it will make sense for all these different planets to evolve and develop differently, because there's only very few characters that can actually world hop. So I think at times what I felt is that the planets felt, or the worlds, I don't know why I keep on calling them planets, felt more like different locations within a bigger continent. So it makes me wonder whether the whole world hopping thing is more of a gimmicky, it's more of a gimmick, and it actually doesn't bring anything new or different to the story. The story could have happened in one world across multiple continents. You could teleport instead of world hop, and it would be the same story. And it would probably be more consistent, because you got the issue of all the different languages. Like when I stop to think about the mechanics of having different worlds, multiple different worlds, it's just the story stops making sense to me. But it could be a me problem. I put my hands up. And the other thing that it was hinted at in the previous book is that the insectoids that Tian developed have become this sort of widespread thing that everyone is using in war. But how, why, who, like, it's not entirely clear there. We know it's happened, but not entirely sure why. And I felt a little bit like, and then Tian is trying to come up with a way to deactivate all these insectoids to stop them being used for war, because he feels like, as the creator, he doesn't want his creations to be used for that end. But I was missing something there. So I've got mixed emotions about this book. We potentially could have had like a one big set piece at the end that didn't really feel like it was. So yeah, possibly I think this book was a bit of a step down from the previous one, and they're not entirely sure where it's going to go from here. So I will definitely, obviously, finish the series at some point next year, hopefully in the first quarter of the year. But that would be the video for next week, so I want to tell you about my plans for next year and so on. But anyway, these are my thoughts, my opinions, my honest, sincere review of Successor's Promise by Trudi Canavan. Please, if you read the series, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Everyone, as usual, take loads and lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.